Oh, boy. Our Headline Hoosier. Do we have a sponsor for Headline Hoosier?
We do. It's brought to you by Mort's Royce Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Rizzuto Show.
Well, this particular Headline Hoosier comes from Bradford County, Florida. Yes, Florida, where a 64-year-old woman named Glenda Turner. Glenda Turner was arrested.
Glenda.
Yeah, Glenda was arrested recently after getting into a big argument with her husband, John. It reportedly started because he bought the wrong kind of pickles. Now, I get it. There's nothing worse than going in and getting like a mini pickle that you think is a dill, and then it ends up being one of those sweet ones or whatever the heck they're doing.
Where it's actually a better tasting one. It's worse,
that's
man.
well, even if it tastes good, if you are expecting one type of pickle and you get
or any
even a slightly different type of pickle, I mean that's just a kick to your system.
You want to know what pickle is in your mouth?
I get it. That's upsetting. So she bought the wrong kind of pickles.
Happens.
Tell me if this was an overreaction. It escalated. And at some point, Glenda picked up a wooden novelty piece and threw it at John's ankle. Then she grabbed a trophy football, which was in a plastic case, and tried to throw it as well. She then loses her balance, and apparently it fell back on her, causing an injury. At some point, the police did come, and she was arrested for domestic violence. Which means at first it looks like he didn't, or he wanted to press charges. I mean, there was a call to the police. She was arrested. John eventually did not want to press charges, but there it is. A woman making the Headline Hoosier for throwing a football trophy at her husband because he bought the wrong pickles.
John, you're never going to amount to anything than you did in that high school football game. You take this trophy and you shove it up your ass.
Yeah, that's a Vlasic Hoosier move
Classic Vlasic.
Yeah.
I get it with the pickles thing, man. That is something that's like very, very, very particular.
I think it's a big deal.
My kids are getting super, super particular with their pickles too. Like now they're like, oh, you bought this one, this brand.
I'm weird about it too, man. I like pickle spears. Pickle chips on a burger, sure. But when I'm just going pound town on some jar of pickles, I'm not dipping my big old hand into a big old jar of pickle chips. I want a spear. I want it to be ice cold, and I want to take little bites out of it until it's completely devoured.
You like crunchy or flappy?
Crunchy. I'm very particular.
You don't like halves? What about a pickle half?
No.
You can buy them in halves?
Nope.
What about the minis?
No. I want a pickle spear, long ways.
Have you had the minis though? Like
Triangular.
the full minis? They're
Dude, the
wonderful.
minis are awesome.
You want to talk about a?
Like you're talking about itty bitty little pickle?
They're like this big. They're just called minis, and they're this big. It's a pickle. It's full size, just shrunk down like a Veggie Tale, and you eat it just like this, like the whole thing. And boy, like you want to talk about the snap that's coming from the outside. Now you get all the outside.
Can I be honest?
Yep.
Moment of vulnerability.
Okay.
I'm a bread and butter man.
Wouldn't it take me for that, buddy?
Kind of does change my view of you.
I'm bread and butter pickle on a hard salami and cheese sandwich that's got a good snap to it with some spicy mayo. It's a good mix of like sweet and spicy and savory. It's good.
We used to have
Hawaiian bread.
Videographer named Ben Vogelsang that worked with us for many years.
About to say is
Ben, I'm not kidding. Before he left Hubbard
that guy.
Broadcasting, he's the best. Ben walked through the halls, I guess, and said to all the DJs, he goes, "Hey, I made a big old batch of dill pickles, and there's peppercorns in them." And he goes, "Would you like to try them?" And I'm a little like normally some of my friends are like, "I jarred this." I'm normally like, I'm not going to try it.
Right.
But he
Office
really sold it to me, and I said, "Bring them in." I kid you not. I ate every pickle. I drank the juice. It was the best pickles I've ever had in my life.
Everything that Ben and his wife make is incredible.
They grew the pickles. I mean, it was delicious.
There's something weird about them.
You gotta trust somebody though with pickles.
You really do. Because it's like anything that comes in like a cloudy fluid mixture.
But it wasn't cloudy.
yeah. I think I'm
just saying, like in general, you got to trust. Hey, pickled eggs, where we stand on pickled eggs.
They're incredible.
I don't think I've ever had a pickled egg.
Spicy ones
They're
too.
really disappearing from society.
They should not be.
What's a pickled egg?
A pickled egg used to be just sitting in a tub at the end of the bar in the tavern.
Right.
And
You get a hard-boiled egg, you dump it in there, let it just soak into egg.
So
yellow?
you hard boil an egg and then you just put it in pickle juice?
That's what I do.
Pretty much, but different
There's better
types. There's hot
versions.
pickled eggs. There's all sorts of.
But then it's like okra. Pickled okra is amazing.
Oh, pickled okra is amazing.
Yeah.
They used to have
Onion.
They used to just have a tub. Like it was like a big thing. It would sit at the end of the bar at the Vets Tavern in Dowell, Illinois. And I think they were like 50 cents, maybe even a quarter.
Dip in.
And the bartender would just pop the top with this big. I mean, there's probably like 100 eggs in this thing, and just fish out a pickled egg and throw it on a napkin, and then people would eat them while they were drinking.
Spoon. He's fishing them out with a spoon or something.
Hopefully, just depends.
Can you imagine somebody just fishing in?
I can.
He takes the
I grew up
toothpick
in
out of his mouth.
VFW halls. People were dipping their hands in anything that was jarred
Dipping
back in
and
those
dunking.
days. Yep.
Dunking and dipping.
Sorry, Scott. I interrupted you.
No, you're
I'm sorry
fine.
about that.
Pickles, man. I mean, it's a year-round food for me, but I know people that only do that kind of thing in the summer. Is it a year-round? Is the bread and butter stuff for you like a year-round?
I'll go year-round on bread and butter. It just depends on what it is. I do like dill on certain things, but I'm very open-minded about thick-cut bread and butter pickles with a good snap. If you put them on, like, they have, like, Hawaiian bread. You can make, hard salami, deli sliced American cheese, some bread and butter pickles, hit it with that hot mustard, hit it with the mayo, put it on Hawaiian bread, and it's like a sweet and savory mix. It's a perfect mix of crunchy, sweet and savory.
The sweet just seems so not real or not right. Like they always have that yellow. It's like a Nickelodeon yellow, and I don't want that. I don't, like the color kind of skeeves me out a little bit.